Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Sis, how we doing, sis? What's your name?
All right, baby.
What's your name, sis?
Sis.
Sis what?
Sis, that's my name.
Okay, all praises. You got any questions?
No.
Let me ask you this. What's your nationality?
No, huh?
What's your nationality?
African-American.
African-American. Hey, sis right here in the back. What? Come on, come forward. What's your nationality, sis? What's your nationality?
Y'all got me on the spot.
No, it's a simple question.
I say that I'm African.
African?
That's
Okay.
what
Okay.
But from what I got, Israelite.
Okay, all praises. Sis, what's your nationality? Come on up. We ain't got to yell at you. Come on up so we can talk and we can dialogue. We your brothers. All these brothers out here for you. We ain't yelling at you. That's the only reason why they out here. We out to make sure that y'all safe when we teaching our people.
I want to see the sign.
Huh? Oh, you had a question? Sis, what's your question?
Just basically trying to get everybody on the same
Okay.
page. I understand that y'all have information for us.
Yes, ma'am.
But a lot of people don't learn the way we do, like y'all do. You gotta
Right.
show them, take them to the place, show them.
Right?
Like you doing, I appreciate that, but
No, sis. Ask your question. What's your question, sis? What's her question?
Sister Chris, right? She wants to know where do the other nations like play in what we're teaching right now?
Good. What do the other nations play in what we teach? Give me that where, give me John 14 and 15.
Bring it up.
Oh, my bad. The other nations have a great role to play. All right? They gotta help build up the kingdom. You understand what I'm saying? They gotta do certain things for us, for the kingdom to come in. You understand? They ain't gonna be in the same position we in as far as rulers of the earth, but they got a role. Read that.
John chapter 14 and verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
So God says, if you love him, keep the commandments. You understand? So if they love God, they should keep the commandments. But if they don't, guess what? They're going to get the same judgment that if anybody else is going to get. You know what that is? You know what that judgment is? Death. So that's it. That's it. But we ain't out here for the other nations. We out here for our people.
That's right.
God says go into the highways and hedges to compel his people to come in.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand who God's people are. God's people are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Do you believe that? Okay.
where are they?
Where are they?
How do we find them?
Good. Excellent question. Excellent question. How do we find the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel? Give me Deuteronomy 28. Let's start at verse 46 first. Deuteronomy 28. Let's read 45 and 46. So the sister asked, how do we find the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel according to the Bible? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45.
Bring it out.
Moreover, all these curses.
What did the Bible say? All these what?
Curses.
All these curses. Read.
Shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee.
Read.
Till thou be destroyed.
So the curses of God are going to fall upon the children of Israel. And they were going to overtake the children of Israel. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Hold on. They shall what?
Be upon thee for a sign.
So your question was, how do we find them? We look at the curses and we see who identifies with the curses that were placed upon the children of Israel.
That's right.
Who can attest to the history that is written in this book?
Right.
Who can say that they went on slave ships to a land that they did not know and had their people sold as bondman and bondwoman?
Right.
Who had their names changed to a byword amongst all nations upon the face of the earth?
Right.
Who lost their history, identity, culture, dietary law? Who can attest to that besides us? So we're going to read through the Bible. We're going to see who did these curses fall upon. You understand? And that's how you'll know if you're talking to the true children of Israel or not.
That's right.
Because guess what? Who are calling themselves the Jews today? since 1947? Who call themselves the Jews? So-called white people, right? There's people in the land right now, in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, claiming to be the Jews.
Bring it over.
Correct. And is that identified by all other nations? Are they respected as the Jews by all other nations on the face of the earth? Yes, they are. Military aid is given to them, and everybody in the world agrees that those people are the Jews. That's history. If you don't believe it, turn on your news. Oh, great question! How do we prove that the people in the land today are not the people? You giving me layup today. I like your question. Revelations 2 and 9. Well, let's see what God says. It don't matter what I got to say. Let's see what God says.
Bring it out. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
God's talking to the real Jews. But the real Jews are going through what? The curses that we just read about in Deuteronomy.
Right.
He said, despite your conditions, despite you've been scattered all over the earth, you're rich. Why? Because when you wake up, the kingdom of heaven is waiting for you.
Right.
Paradise is waiting for you.
Right.
A reward, a recompense is waiting for you.
Right.
Read.
And I know the blasphemy.
And I know what?
The blasphemy.
He says on the flip side, I know the blasphemy, read,
of them which say they are Jews.
Hold on, read it again.
Of them which say they are Jews and are not.
Hold on. Who's saying they're the Jews today? Who's in the land of Israel saying they are the Jews?
That's right. Bring it out.
Since you just said it earlier, you can't say it no more. The so-called white man.
Right.
The so-called Jewish man.
Right.
God says what they're doing is blasphemy. Read it again.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Hold on. God says they are what?
The synagogue of Satan.
Where are you reading this from?
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9.
This is what's written in the Bible. We didn't make this up. We didn't write this book. John wrote it.
Right.
And it's been in your Bible since the Bible's been compiled.
Right.
But guess what? We never had this understanding because who? The white man's been teaching us the Bible.
Right.
The white man told you that Jesus was white.
Right.
The white man told you that December 25th was Christ's birthday.
Right.
And the white man told you, those people in the land, those are the Jews, and you a Gentile.
Right.
Meanwhile, if I'm a Gentile, what nation do I come from? They haven't told you that.
Right.
What nation do the so-called Arab man come from? They haven't told you that.
Right.
But when we tell you, we got to prove it to you. We got to bring out DNA. We got to bring out books. We got to bring out historical facts.
Right.
But you accept whatever the white man tell you. Meanwhile, the Bible says that he's the synagogue of Satan.
That's right.
Now let's further prove how they got in that land. Give me Luke 21 and 24.
Bring it
How
out.
did those people get in the land to be able to say that they are the Jews and it's believed by everybody on the face of the earth?
Bring it out.
How did that happen? Christ prophesied about it.
Right.
Listen good.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
We went into captivity. Christ prophesied about it. 70 AD, the children of Israel were going to be taken out of the land and never return. Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Hey, sis. Well, hey, my brother right here.
Yes, sir.
When we led captive into all nations. Yeah. Listen good. The Bible's talking about you. Read it again from the top.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
We were led away captive into all nations.
Right.
Y'all see that? We were taken to Brazil. We were taken to Cuba. We were taken to Haiti. We were taken to America. We were taken to Canada.
Right.
We were taken all over the world, India, Madagascar, wherever you can imagine we were taken.
Right.
Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down.
Hold on. And what?
Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Jerusalem was going to be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Right.
Read.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
The time of the Gentiles being fulfilled is when Christ returned.
Right.
Has Christ returned? Not yet. So who's in the land today? Who's in the land according to that scripture? Read it again. I want you to pay attention. Huh? Satan is in the land.
That's right.
God calls them the Gentiles. Those are
Right.
the nations that he don't care about. Read that part again.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down
Jerusalem shall be trodden down.
of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Right.
So right now, what you're witnessing in the land today, the reason why all that is going on is because God is stirring up a war.
Right.
Everybody's been talking about World War III for years, for decades. World War III. But what the black man didn't understand is that that war is taking place because of us.
Right.
God is going to take all nations into subjection and bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Bring it
for
out.
you.
Bring it out.
But guess who reject God? We do.
Right.
Guess who don't want to keep the commandments? We don't.
Right.
Guess who want to go worship God on Sunday and worship a white Jesus?
Right.
Our people.
That's right.
Our people do that. Now, give me Joel 3. I want to
Bring it
further back up that those are not the people in the land today.
Bring it out.
Yeah. Scoot over. Let us see that. Who is that, sis? Do you know who that is? You ever seen an image like that before? You ain't never seen an image like that before. Wow. Give me Hosea 3 and 4 and then give me Revelation 1. Why haven't? Who is that? What does that scripture say, sis? White. That's Christ. That's Jesus Christ.
Right.
Why is that image not spread all over the world?
Right.
How did they get that mixed up? You were able to put that together like that. How did they give us that image?
Bring it out. Make it
Because
play.
they are the synagogue of Satan.
That's right.
God says, beware, there's going to be a man that's going to deceive all nations. And that's the example right there. The whole world worships Jesus as a European man.
Right.
And in 2 seconds, you were able to put the scriptures together with the correct imagery of Christ.
Right.
How is that? Hosea 3 and 4.
Hosea chapter 3 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
Without a king.
And without a prince. And without a sacrifice. And without an image.
For hundreds, thousands of years, we dwelled on the earth as so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, without an image, without a king,
Right.
understanding that Christ looked like us.
Right.
They took that from us. There's been many studies done that when black people, when you see a black doll and you see a white doll, what's the connotation we get of black people? Negative.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because he's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Why is that? Because they took the image from us.
Right.
They took the Messiah from us. So now when we see ourselves, we think of devils. We think evil.
Right.
And when we see the white man, what do we think?
That's God.
That's the angels.
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio. That's what we think. That's why they did that, sis. But God says that the greatest man on the face of the earth looked like you. God says that the Jews are black. Cowboy hat. How we doing today? What's your name?
Thomas.
Brother Thomas. Brother Thomas, what you doing out here today on the side? You know today on the side?
Yeah, get some gas.
Get some gas. You got a question for me or you just listening?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm talking to the gentleman there.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, About this chart here.
Yes, sir.
All right. If your father, African American. Okay. By the slave trade.
Right.
You go back 5, 6 generations, and a lot of us had white ancestors.
Right. You may have.
Yeah, well, have white ancestors.
Right.
So how did that work then?
Excellent question.
If you go back 5 or 6 generations.
Excellent question. Give me Romans 8:16. So I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna show you how. Guess what? If you got a white ancestor, well, there's a few things. The first thing is, if you got a white ancestor, you ain't gonna keep the commandments of God. That's the first thing.
Right.
That is that's null and void. Because Esau can't keep the commandments of God.
Right. That's right.
So if you believe you're an Israelite, you keeping the commandments, and you confused on whether or not, keep the commandments, and we'll let God worry about it at the end of the day.
Right.
But let me show you what God says.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit.
The Spirit. A lot of people think they can go to DNA and they can do this. God says it's a spirit that's going to come upon you.
Right.
Read.
That we are the children of God.
Read it again from the top.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit.
The Spirit bears witness with our spirit that what?
That we are the children of God.
That we are the children of God. It's a spiritual thing when you understand that you come from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
When you read the scriptures and you go through the history and you see the images of what happened, you say, you know what? That's my history.
Right.
And you'll believe and you'll keep the commandments. That's the ultimate identifying factor. Because God, the other nations don't keep the commandments. Give me that 2 Ezra 3. You understand that, brother? Okay.
What about those Jews over there in Israel?
Oh, everybody talking about the Jews.
No, they try to keep the commandments.
No, they don't. Okay. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If they tried to keep the commandments, why do they got pork in whorehouses in Jerusalem today? Did you know that?
LGBT. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The biggest LGBT parade is in Israel and Tel Aviv.
Right.
You understand that?
I heard that.
Yeah. It ain't heard, it's fact.
Yeah, right.
They ain't keeping the commandments, they keep their own commandments.
Right. You answer my question.
Okay, all praise. Now let me ask you a question. If you know that you are an Israelite, what should you do with that understanding?
Try to keep the commandments.
Try to keep the commandments. All praise to the Most High. Give me that in Deuteronomy 10 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
You should try to keep the commandments if you understand. And I would imagine you know you're an Israelite, brother. From talking with the brother, you heard that before you came up here before.
There's a lot going around now.
Okay. So the understanding is rising out here in the streets. Okay, good. So with the understanding rising, guess what? When we had this understanding in the 60s, it didn't work. You know why? Because we didn't apply the commandments.
Right.
When we had this understanding in the 80s, it didn't work because we didn't keep the commandments.
Right.
In the 90s, in the early 2000s, the only reason why now God has said, you know what? It's time to start the war. It's time to start World War III.
Right.
Because the Israelites are now keeping the commandments of God.
Right.
The breath of life has come into the nation of Israel.
Right.
That breath that keeps us alive is the laws of God.
Right.
You got that? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does God require of us now that we know who we are? That we are the sons and daughters of the living God.
Right.
Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, all thy heart, and with all thy soul.
Read.
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
To do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
So it's our job to keep the commandments of the Lord, understanding that we Israelites. If we don't do this, all of the understanding, all of the deep breakdowns, understanding that the white folks are Esau and they're the devil, all of that is null and void if we don't keep the commandments of God.
Right.
You understand that? Now, let me go through some commandments with you, brother. Did you know, give me your Leviticus. Give me Leviticus 19. I want to show you a commandment that you can start applying in your own life ASAP.
Right.
Today.
Right.
Listen good.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 27.
Bring it out.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall you mar the corners of thy beard. Ye shall not make any.
So, you should not shave off the corners of your beard. What that mean? There you go. You're not supposed to shave. You know that? So now that you know that, you going to apply that commandment? Huh? You gonna do that?
I get kind of bumpy.
No, you ain't gonna get bumpy. You get bumpy when you do shave.
Right.
You know why God do that?
When I don't.
Yeah, no, you get bumpy when you do shave.
That's right.
Because God said you ain't supposed to be doing it.
That's right.
It's just like our dietary law. Why do black people lead the world in high blood pressure and diabetes? No, but I'm asking, why does that happen?
Because we eat pork.
Because of what we eat. Hey, my brother right here, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. How you doing?
What's your name, boss?
King Ed.
King L?
King Ed.
King Ed. Okay. King Ed, what's your nationality, my brother? Damn, how you a king you don't know where you come from? What land you a king on?
I'm right here.
All right. Now, King, I'm messing with you. Now, check this out. Guess what? I love that spirit, though. And our people have that spirit of royalty. You know why? Because we are royalty.
Right.
We are the kings upon the earth. But God says right now we lost as a nation of people.
Right.
We don't understand who we are, where we come from, or where we going. And that's why we out here teaching. What's your name, sis?
Tiana.
Huh?
Tiana.
Tiana? Where you from? Yeah, where you from, sis?
Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia. So, you know you're an Israelite?
That's what they was telling.
That's what they was telling you. You ever heard that before?
I heard it, but I ain't never looked.
But you ain't never looked into it. Okay. Now, understanding you're an Israelite, sis, I'm gonna show you something that happened so you can be able to prove if somebody asks you how you know that you're an Israelite. You understand? That makes sense? Because the way we know that we're the children of Israel is because the curses that are written in the Bible, they identify with us. You understand? And they don't identify with nobody else. For example, what's your last name? Preachy? Right. That's an African last name?
No, that's what I heard.
Nah, that's a European last name, right? How did you get that name? From what? How did your family get that name? From slavery.
That's right.
From slavery. Did you know that God talks about slavery in the Bible? You knew that? Okay, give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. So I'm going to show you the curse of how all of our people went into slavery. And through this curse, this is one way out of a multitude of other ways we can identify with who we are as a people.
That's right.
Because this Bible is better than any DNA test you can take.
That's right.
The Bible has stood the test of time, and the white man ain't tested.
Right.
Contrary to popular belief, the Bible is not tampered with. The only person that don't tamper with the Bible is the prophets of God.
That's right.
That's it. Listen good.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God prophesied that he was going to bring us into Egypt again. Egypt means bondage.
Right.
You understand that? Because when the children of Israel were in Egypt before with Moses, we were slaves. So he's talking to them after they got out of Egypt. He said, hey, if y'all keep being disobedient, I'm going to take you back into Egypt. You understand that? I'm going to give you a precept, though. Give me Exodus 22. I'm going to show you that Egypt means bondage or slavery. Listen good.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God.
I am the Lord thy God.
Which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the house of bondage.
Read it again.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt and house of bondage is synonymous. That makes sense? So go back to Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Egypt means what? Bondage. Good. I'm going to bring you back into bondage. Read.
Again with ships.
Hold on now. I'm going to bring you back into bondage with what?
With ships.
How we brought into slavery?
How was he brought into slavery?
Yes. What mode of transportation? Huh? On ships.
That's right.
On ships. You see what's behind the brother right there? What's that behind him? That's a slave ship. You see this right here? Slave ship. That's history. That's historical fact. Now here's the question. Who else did that happen to? Can you read about the Chinese man going through a history on slave ships?
Have I read about it?
Yeah. What about the Arab man? No. What about the white man? No. No. So hold on. If this only happened to us, and these curses are talking about the Israelites, what does that make us? Okay. If the curse says the children of Israel was going to go into slavery on ships, right? And you say, I can identify with that. That happened to my people. What does that make you? It means you're an Israelite, sis. That That means you're an Israelite. Guess what? Because you went through the same thing that God said was going to happen to you. So this book is talking to what people? He's talking to you. Does that make sense, man? Okay, read it again. Hey, sis right there in the LSU jacket. We going over how we know we the Israelites. You ever heard that before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good. Listen to this, because you're going to get this work with the sis, all right? Listen good. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So God says, because of our disobedience, he was going to put us in slavery again with ships. That happened. We got historical fact of it happening. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Since we got over here to this side of the earth, have we been back as a nation of people to the land of Israel? No, half of us don't got a passport, right? We ain't been back. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Once we got off those slave ships, what happened to us? We were sold. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Men and women were sold, correct? And children. Read.
And no man shall buy you.
And nobody was going to buy us. Buy us means redeem us out of the situation that we're in. What man redeemed us out of slavery? Nobody. What man to this day has gotten us out of the conditions that we're in as a people? You ask anybody, Atlanta was going crazy when Barack Obama got elected, right? Man, we got a black president. What has changed?
Bring it up.
Nothing. Ain't nothing changed. It took Trump to give us a stimulus check. Obama couldn't do that.
Right.
But as a people, we still in the same exact conditions. Because God says that no man was going to buy us. No man was going to redeem us out of this condition besides Jesus Christ.
Right.
The black Messiah will redeem us. He will free us out of the conditions that we in. Y'all understand that? Now y'all accept that y'all Israelites? Y'all believe that?
I believe it.
You believe it? You believe that, sis? I can show you more curses if you don't believe it. Check this out. Give me Deuteronomy 28:30. I'm going to show you something. No, give me Deuteronomy 28:16, because we in the A. How we doing, brother? With the do-rag. What's going on? What's your name?
Reggie.
Brother Reggie. Listen to this verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
This is a curse of the Israelites. Are black people cursed in cities? Would you say we're in a blessed position or a cursed position in cities throughout the world? Where black people live at, is it the highest economy where black people live? No. What is it called where we live at? Poverty. They call it the what? The ghetto. Right? Wherever we live at, our real estate is low, right? And where the white people live at is high, or the Chinese or the Arabs. All right, would you agree? Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And cursed shall we be in the field. Are we cursed in the fields? Absolutely. Now, who had a question? My brother right here in Pittsburgh, Jersey? You had a question, my brother? What's your question, boss?
What happened to the history?
What happened to the history? We're showing you the history. Right here. I'm going to show you what happened to it. Jeremiah 17:4. Cap, you want to come up? You want to come up? I'm going to read this verse and then Cap, come up. Jeremiah 17:4. The brother asked, what happened to the history? Now, my brother, I'm going to ask you this. Bruh, what you know about your history? Let me ask you that.
Hang it up.
You don't know nothing, right? It's cut off from you. All you know is you black and you in the left.
Right.
And you like the Braves. And you hope you can catch a few games today. Right? Why is it like that? Why have we been cut off from our culture, our history, our identity, our heritage, our land? Why has all that been cut off? Listen good to what God says.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself,
listen good, brother. And thou, even thyself, read,
shall discontinue from thine heritage.
God said he was going to cut us off from our history. You understand that? Discontinue means to stop. Right? Like the Jordans that you got on, they was discontinued at one point, right? Then when they said, hey, we're going to bring out the retro ones, then it came back. But it was discontinued for a time. Guess what? The same thing happened to the children of Israel.
That's right.
We were cut off for a long time, but we back. The Israelites are back. Read.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue
Shall stop.
from thine heritage.
From what?
From thine heritage.
We were going to discontinue from our heritage. What's all a heritage? A heritage is a land.
Right.
A heritage is laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
A language.
Right.
A dress code. A dietary law.
Right.
Holidays.
Right.
All of that was cut off from us. Right? The days that we keep today. What's the day that we keep today? You celebrate Thanksgiving ever? Yeah, you don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Don't say you ain't celebrating Thanksgiving. You celebrate Thanksgiving? You celebrate Thanksgiving? Where do we get that history from? That got anything to do with us?
No.
That's a European day, right?
Right.
Okay, what about July 4th?
It's supposed to be the emancipation.
That's Juneteenth.
No.
July 4th.
In school, they tried to tell you that was.
For them.
Yeah.
July 4th is a celebration of America, right? 1776, right?
Right.
What was we at in 1776?
We were still slaves.
We were slaves. We were slaves. So what I'm getting at is all the days that we keep growing up, it ain't got nothing to do with us. We don't keep no days that identify with our true history. Goes back to what the brother asked, why don't we know our history? Because God said he was going to cut us off from our history. Now I'm getting to the most important part. Why did he cut it off from us? Keep reading.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
Are we serving our enemies today? Absolutely. Read.
In the land which thou knowest not.
Before we came over to this land in the 1400s, did we know about America? Absolutely not. Read.
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger.
This the key part. For what?
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Because we went against the commandments of God.
That's right.
That's why he cut us off from our heritage.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community.